These sets got mentions against investing and reselling. Let's see if we agree. I'm going to go through 78 sets that got recent not top set mentions, and at the end, I'll give you my 3 that I totally disagree with and that I do want to invest in. Hey everyone, I am Kevin. Welcome back to KDX Bricks Analytics, and it is time for our next not top sets video. I am way behind. This is for the last 3 2-week periods. I make as many videos as fast as I can, but there's always a lot of other good stuff going on in life, so I do what I can, but here we are getting caught back up. This one covers 225 videos across 18 channels, over 1,500 Lego set mentions, and as you know, a chunk of those are mentions to avoid for investing and reselling. The first set on this list is the Star Wars brick-built The Child figure. It got 3 more mentions in the last month and a half, up to 7 mentions total to avoid for investing and reselling. I totally agree. It will be on the shelves for over 3 years. Historically, sets like this haven't done well. Here on Brick Economy is the Yoda set in the same style. It retired in 2022 after approximately 3 years on these shelves. It has gone from $100 to about $115, which after shipping and fees is a loss. Another one that's kind of similar is this brick-built BB-8. This one also had a 3-year shelf life, retiring in 2020, doing a little better, retail price at $100 and now into the $150 to $200 range, but still not a great return on investment for having to have a pretty long hold time. So yes, I do agree with avoiding the top set on this table. The second set on this table is another Star Wars 75332, the ATST. 4 more mentions, up to 7, and I totally agree on this one too. However, what's kind of interesting is the push to avoid this set is very, very emotional because it is 87 pieces for $35. People are just frustrated at Lego about the price on this set. For me, I just say, okay, well then it's a set that I don't need to buy. I'll go buy sets that are of much better value. I also agree with a lot of people who are saying, hey, let's just not buy this set because then Lego will use that data analytics to say, okay, we priced that one too high. We need to not make a similar mistake in the future. And of course, the best way that we can vote on the sets that we like or don't like based on the pieces or the price or the quality of the prints or anything else is buy the ones we like, don't buy the ones we don't like. And Lego will use that data to hopefully make a change, even though it might be a pretty sluggish change at times, at least as it feels. Specifically looking at this set, it has 3 minifigures. Let's be generous and say that they're all $5 each. They can't be more because that's how much they get sold for the CMF series. And yes, all 3 of them are exclusive. Subtracting the $15 for these 3 minifigures means that the 3 little side builds are worth $20, which we know is crazy. Next up is the current AT-AT. 2 more mentions, up to 6, over a 3-year shelf life, and Lego makes these AT-ATs in some form or another every 4 or 5 years. And if we look at Brick Economy, they haven't done that well. The one that came out in 2014, up to 160 from 110. The one that came out in 2010, up to 250 from 110. When you factor in your hold time and inflation, that's not a great return on investment. The early one, 2003, is doing pretty well, but that's a special case, and also the motorized 2007, but that one is also a special case. So although you're unlikely to lose money on this set, it would be a lot of time and effort for really no tangible gain because we know the Lego is going to come out with another one very soon. 4th on the list is the table football set. It is from the Ideas line. 2 more mentions, up to 5. This set will be on the shelves for just over a year, which is very short for Ideas, and that's because this set has just been a disaster. Not really anybody's fault. It seems like Lego did the best they could with this set, but when we compare it to the original fan submission, it is a huge disappointment because this set is so small and barely playable at all. It does come with a bunch of extra minifigure pieces, and I think Lego was really hoping that that would help this set sell. When we look at the original fan submission, it looks really good, but I'm sure we can all agree after inspecting this a little further that it was going to be unlikely for Lego to build this and meet all of their durability and constructability requirements. So Lego ended up coming up with this, and now it's going to be a very forgettable Lego Ideas set, and unfortunately for the fan designer, it's not going to sell as many copies as some of the others. And I did mean to point out up at the beginning that this table is from February 16th to August 15th, 2023, because I am capping these cumulative tables at 6 months. I don't want to go too far back on the data because maybe data from 9 months ago is really not going to be value anymore. Somebody could be recommending a set that we buy, and then we find out that it's getting extended, and then we say, oh, wait a minute, let's not buy, and that extra year shelf life might actually make it underperform in retirement. 5th on the list is the Brickheads Mandalorian and Child. 2 more mentions, up to 5 against investing and reselling over a 3-year shelf life. If you are willing to have a very long hold time, I think this one will do okay, but I am avoiding it. Another Star Wars 75335, the BD1, very similar to the Child that we talked about first and very similar to BB8. I agree, I don't think this one is going to do very well either. Probably decent after a very long hold time, just over a year shelf life, which is pretty good. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this droid is only from a video game anyways. A Harry Potter set 75968 for Privet Drive, another set with a very long shelf life. A lot of times sets that we think when they initially come out would be pretty good end up getting their place on this list because of long shelf lives. And it doesn't matter how great the set is, if you have an extremely long shelf life, then you're going to be in trouble when it comes to the aftermarket. This set is $80 for 797 pieces. It did take a small price bump when Lego went through that about a year ago. It's the only 4 Privet Drive set made to date, other than the 2002 Escape from Privet Drive set, which is a totally different looking scene. But in terms of just the classic, this is where the Harry Potter story starts. This is the one and only. It got 3 more mentions, up to 5. In order for this set to do okay, it would be a very long hold time, but it does have 6 minifigures. A bunch of them are unique. And if we go to Brick Economy and look up the Dursleys, this is the only set where you get the whole family. The original Uncle Vernon is from a much older set, but this looks pretty rough. The new Uncle Vernon looks good. And you've got Dudley, who is also in his pajamas in a advent calendar, I think from a couple years ago. But this is the first time we get Petunia. So you get the whole Dursley family, which I think will have some value down the road, even though these figures have basically no value at this time. Boba Fett Starship 75312, 2 more mentions, up to 4. It's a good looking set. It's in the slightly smaller scale that Lego has done of the common Star Wars ships in the last 2020-2021 wave. This one is a pretty good price at $50 for 593 pieces, and it's been on sale for $40 most of the time. Nothing special about the minifigures other than they look great, but they are not unique to the set. Similar to the AT-AT, Lego will make more of these on Brick Economy. Some of the older ones have done okay. The one from 2010 has more than doubled in price. The 20th anniversary one from 2019 has not doubled in price yet, but it does have an annual growth of 20%. The UCS one is doing really well as expected, and then a couple of the older ones are doing really well from 2006 and 2002. Of the common Star Wars ships that Lego makes a new set of about every 5 years, this one will do the best, but I'm still not investing in it unless I find it on a significant discount. The Hogwarts Magical Trunk, 3 more mentions, up to 4. I don't know what you would do with this set. It does have a bunch of decent minifigures. They all look kind of plain. I agree, I'm going to avoid that one. And same thing with this set, totally going to avoid it. 76401, the Hogwarts Courtyard Sirius's Rescue. Yes, it does have the nice buckbeak, but it's $50 for 345 pieces. And the structure just looks like all the others. And I think we are getting burned out on these very common tan with sand green Harry Potter buildings. It's nice to see that some of the more recent sets have had a little more uniqueness or variety. So I'm looking forward to those, like 12 Grimald Place, or that green one with the 2 building structures. It's like the Wizarding headquarters. I forget the name, I'm sorry. Once I see it, I'll be like, oh yeah, duh. The new Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, 2 mentions, up to 4 total to avoid for investing. $35 for 253 pieces, also very expensive, nothing special about the minifigures. And if we look at the previous one that came out in 2017, these 2 sets are very similar. This one has only gone from 25 to 55. 75292, the Razor Crest, 2 more mentions, up to 3. I am torn on this set. It's $140 for just over 1,000 pieces. Very expensive. It got the price bump a year ago. It will have over 3 years on the shelf. Very long shelf life, very expensive. There's nothing unique about the minifigures, even though they are really good. But at the same time, the ship is great, super popular, and the build is great. There's a lot of really good stuff about what you get in the box. And I could see many people far into the future wanting to have one of these that is fresh out of the box, that they get the experience themselves to open it up and build it for the first time and see the minifigures. My position on this set is if you're willing to hold it for a long time and you can find it on some pretty good discounts, which we have been able to recently, then I think it will be a winner. Looking at this set on Camel, when it first came out and then it went out of stock, it jumped up to over $250, $350. I think this history shows that this set will be very popular. And with the huge UCS set, a lot of people are going to say, well, I could spend $500, $600, $700 on that set, or I could spend $300 on this one, get more minifigures, something that's more easily managed to put on a shelf, and it looks great. Imperial TIE Fighter and the Luke Skywalker's X-Wing Fighter. Lumping these again in with the Boba Fett Starship and the AT-AT. They're both good sets. If you're willing to hold on to them for a very long time, then I think you can do okay, but I am skipping them for investment purposes. They both got 2 more mentions, up to 3. This AT-ST also has 3 mentions against investing and reselling. I totally agree on this one. It's not a bad price at $50 for 586 pieces. We've been able to find it for $40 a lot. It's got 4 minifigures, but it is super gray and super boring in my opinion, even though the AT-STs are cool. If we look at Brick Economy and AT-STs from the past, the original 2001 is doing very well, but that would be expected. The 2007 is doing pretty well, but that's a long hold time, also expected. Same thing with the 2006, but now we get into the more recent ones. 2016 barely doubled in price, not worth it. The 2019 from the Mandalorian is losing money, and then this horrendously designed set from 2018 is also barely growing. The very controversial and talked about Justifier, 1 more mention, up to 3 for investing and reselling. Under a 1.5-year shelf life, but $170 for just over 1,000 pieces. The minifigures are great, but the build is not good. Very gappy. Doesn't really look like the ship itself. DG Bricks and I detailed that in a recent podcast. Here on Brick Economy, there have been 3 Cad Banes. The previous 2 have done okay, but this one looks leaps and bounds better. In order for this set to do well in retirement, this Cad Bane is going to need to be valued at around $100. The buzz around this set is kind of interesting. Everybody's saying no way at the $170 price point, but there's some price in there. Maybe it's 85, maybe it's 100, that they're saying if you can pick it up at that, it's going to do great in retirement. So it'll be really interesting to see where this set goes. I got a couple during the Amazon Prime days a couple months ago for $102. 75324, the Dark Trooper Attack, 2 more mentions, up to 3. This set generally gets a lot of hate because it's $35 for the 166 pieces. It did get a price hike. I think it was $5 back a year ago. I don't hate this one as much. Obviously, I'm coming from the perspective that if you get it on a heavy discount, like 20, then I think it could be all right. I know we won't army build massive quantities of these Dark Trooper minifigures, but they look good. And the whole set overall is very reminiscent of the scene, and it was a scene that I liked a lot. I would take off some of these pieces so it could line up next to all of the new dioramas that Lego started with last year. So I think this one's going to do a little better than people think. And if you hear that in the background, that's my kids shooting off a bunch of Nerf blasters at each other. That's always fun. Another Harry Potter, 1 more mention, up to 3, is this hospital building. Great set, $50, 510 pieces, good minifigures. We've been able to find it for around $40, but it just looks like all the other Harry Potter building sets, and the secondary market for Harry Potter is cooling right now. So I agree, I'm going to avoid this one. The latest UCS X-Wing Starfighter just came out, so it'll be on the shelves for a long time, but it's already getting some mentions, 3 total to avoid for investing and reselling. If we go to Brick Economy and look at some of the UCS sets from the past, we can get a gauge here. So the Red 5 X-Wing Starfighter from 2013 went from 200 to just over 300, 3,800%, 1,000%. The Death Stars are doing well. The Imperial Shuttle, TIE Fighter's doing okay. The original 2000 X-Wing Fighter is up 700%. Historically, the UCS sets have done pretty well for the most part, but some of the later ones seem to be slowing down as Lego issues like the 2nd or 3rd iteration of a particular ship. I think that all could point to this set not doing great in retirement. The new $16 Micro Fighter, too expensive. I'm not getting into this set. The Star Wars Advent Calendar that is about to come out got 3 mentions to avoid for investing. The Advent calendars that are coming out for 2023 all made it on this list. I'm not going to talk about the others because they're all the same story. Advent calendars historically do not do well at all, so skip those. The new 1.5 foot tall brick built Chewbacca that's getting everybody spun up. $200 for 2,300 pieces. It seems like a lot of money for the size of the set, but I'm sure we'll be able to get it on sale at some point. Yes, a lot of people hate this set, despise this set. I like everything about this set from the nose down, but Lego really messed up the head, which I don't know how they missed that. It really shouldn't have been hard to get that correct. I will say every time I look at it, I like it slightly more. I don't think it's hideous, and I do wonder if Lego comes out with a few more in this style, if this being the original could be desirable someday. Probably a long hold time. A couple of new Sonic place sets. They both got 1 more mention, up to 3. Amy's Animal Rescue Island. I agree, I'm not investing in any of the place sets, whether it's these Mario sets that all look great. A lot of fun to play with. My kids have a number of them. but they're not good investments. And also the stunt sets that are really good and play really well. The Real Madrid Stadium, good looking set, way too narrow of a market. Lego is done making stadiums, it looks like, and the previous ones have not sold that well. Harry, Hermione, Ron, and Hagrid brickheads, only $25 for 466 pieces, and all 4 of these characters. They look plain. I think way too many of them are being held on for investment purposes. The Hagrid and Harry designs are downgrades from the previous brickheads versions of those 2 characters. A lot of reasons not to like this set, but it is brickheads, and I think if you're willing to hold on to it for a very long time, it could do okay. Boba Fett's throne room, this set is awesome. I love the minifigures. I love the structure and the design overall. And so I'm not as down on it as a lot of people are. If you got this set or can get this set in the $50 or $60 range that a lot of people were able to get it, then I think you'll do okay in retirement, but you cannot pay anywhere near full price. The Death Star Trench Run diorama, the only of the 5 dioramas that does not have any minifigures, $70 for 665 pieces. Very expensive. We've been able to get it on sale. Yes, probably the least desirable in the secondary market, but it is part of a set that Lego's planning on doing more of. I love them all, and I do wonder if people are shying away from this one, that the supply will be low in retirement, that it could actually do okay. One more mention for the Titanic, up to 2. This set is just oversized in every way. Oversized in the box, oversized in the price, oversized in finding a place to display it. It looks amazing. It's a museum piece. It's designed by Mike Siaki, who is one of Lego's top designers, but I still don't think it's going to do well. The new architecture Himeji Castle. This set looks great, but I agree, I'm not jumping up and down about this one. It's in the micro scale, and yes, the city skylines are in the micro scale, but that was a unique series of sets that have done very well. Sets that are more like this, kind of one-off, haven't done great in the past, and I don't know if too many people are that familiar with the Himeji Castle. Modern art, 2 mentions, and I agree, it's a cool idea, but it's just a parts pack. The personalized mosaic portrait, also a cool idea. 75346, the Pirate Snub Fighter, huge disappointment. Cool little ship, the design is okay, but the minifigures are pretty terrible. They both have the same headpiece and expression, and this set is expensive at $35. The Darth Vader mech, also 2 mentions. We'll see on this set is Darth Vader. Darth Vader can do pretty well, but of the 3 mechs that are coming out, this one should not have happened. I don't like seeing Darth Vader in a mech. A lot of people are turned off, probably more emotional than intellectual decision, so I'm going to keep an eye on this set, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on the other 2 mechs. It's the first time that Lego's making Star Wars mechs. You never know, going back, people might want them. The Hoopty from the Marvels, I don't know anything about this set other than it's $90 for 420 pieces. Tales Workshop and Tornado Plane, same story as the other Sonic sets. Next up is this small creator Tuk Tuk 40469. It has 1 mention against investing and reselling, and the rest of the sets that we'll talk about in this video all have 1 mention. This set's pretty cool looking, but it's just too small. The Professors of Hogwarts Brickheads, $40 for 601 pieces. 4 great characters from Harry Potter. Yes, they are not the most known characters. They don't compete with Harry, Ron, Hermione, Dumbledore, and Hagrid, but the next chunk that we all are very familiar with from Harry Potter are the Professors. These are really well done in the brickheads form. A lot of pieces, a lot of great prints. I like this set a lot, so I don't agree with avoiding this one for investing and reselling. The Space Ride amusement truck from Lego City. I don't get into too much Lego City for investment purposes. Most of them just don't do well, and they're pretty expensive to start out with. Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader. I just talked about this one not too long ago, and I actually like this set more than most people. $50 is way too expensive. We've been able to get it for $35. I bet you we get another shot at it at the $30 price point. 4 minifigures that are all quite good. Even though it's a flat terrain structure, there's a fair amount going on, and then the fire action feature is super cool. I think this one could be a little bit of a sleeper if you get it at the right price. Black Panther, I agree, it's just too big, too expensive. If they had made this one in the same scale as all the helmets and the hands, then I think it would have been a great idea to have a set that has more than just that. To have it all together in one is a cool idea, but it's just way too big and too expensive. The New Guardian ship from the 3rd volume of Guardians of the Galaxy. This set is super cool. It's $100. 4 of the 5 minifigures are unique. All of the torsos are the same except Adam Warlock, which is kind of a shame, but I get it. Not bad for over 1,100 pieces. And with the pink and teal color, and the overall shaping, it's a unique ship. I think this one is a little bit of a sleeper, even though a lot of superhero sets don't do that well in retirement. This one I do kind of like. The Icons Eiffel Tower for $630, but it does have just over 10,000 pieces, which is good. A 4.2 rating on Brickset. If we look at Brick Economy, the previous kind of large Eiffel Tower at 3,400 pieces is doing quite well at almost $2,000, but the new one is so big and so expensive that it's going to be a little bit of a struggle in retirement, but I actually think it could do okay. Even though this is also a museum piece, I think this one's a little different than the Titanic or the Colosseum. The new Tranquil Garden, $110 for 1,363 pieces. This set is super cool, looks fantastic. I want one myself. Very calming and very pleasing to look at. Well designed with all the different foliage types. And what's cool is you can pull each foliage element and then rearrange them. It's too early for me to say that we should not be investing in this set, and it's too early for us to say that we should be. My position is to hold off, especially because when we look at the botanical sets, and I know Tranquil Garden is not technically botanicals, but it all kind of fits in. But if we look at the other flower and plant sets, they are super popular on Amazon. 3,000, 7,000, 10,000, 10,000, 6,000, all bought within the last month. Even this new Tranquil Garden is 1,000. The bonsai tree is 6,000, which looks a little similar. So yes, these flower and plant sets are extremely popular and they've had long shelf lives. Because of all that, maybe they will do well in retirement, or maybe everybody's already going to have so many copies of them that they won't do well in retirement. It's just too early to tell on the Tranquil Garden. The Land Rover Classic Defender, I talked about these brick-built vehicles in this scale. I like them a lot, but I don't like the stylized ones like this one and the London bus and that Four Seasons pickup truck. I like the sports cars and the muscle cars. At $240, I don't think this one will do well in retirement. A Duplo set, and it's Disney. What a shame. Duplo sets can do very well, but this one did get a vote against investing and reselling. A newer Idea set, Tales of the Space Age, $50 for 688 pieces. This set is gorgeous. It is ideas, which typically do well in retirement. It is unique looking, which is a great thing for retirement, and it is space themed, which does well. Probably a long hold time, but I think it does pretty well. The amazing Spider-Man art piece, great idea. Parts of it break down for me. It's like I look at certain sections and I love it, but when I look at the thing overall, it just doesn't come together for my eyes. So I agree, not one that I am interested in. The London bus, it is too small. Same thing with the yellow taxi, and it looks like it's from the 90s. Everyone is awesome. $35 for all of these monochromatic pieces is pretty good. This Christmas tree set, it is one of the, or I think it is the largest Christmas tree ever produced by Lego, but I'm not a fan. I don't like how horizontally linear each of the branch sections is in the design, so not my favorite set. The gingerbread ornaments also got a vote. This Dream set is very new. This is the Dream Village. I think this set looks amazing. It's $30 for 434 pieces too. The minifigures and these little tiny blobby figure things are pretty creative. The build overall has a lot of color and imagination. I think some of the Dream sets could do well, and I think this one is kind of in the middle of the road for me in my predictions. Two Friends sets, the Holiday Ski Slope and Cafe. Friends historically can do pretty well. This one's only $80 for 980 pieces, and it's super unique looking. I would not say no to this set, but I don't invest much in Friends unless I find them on a really good discount. And this Igloo Holiday Venture, $50 for almost 500 pieces, looks super good. I like the Huskies, and the Igloo section could be a unique or interesting set to consider down the road. The new $700 Liber Crawler Crane. I normally don't like large sets for investment purposes, but this one, I am thinking that it could do okay. Probably a long hold time, and it's going to have a narrow market, but there are some folks out there, engineers, large engineering firms, construction, design, architecture, there's all kinds of stuff that calls to this set. I think with a long hold time, it can actually do pretty well. But this next one, I don't think will do that well in retirement. Super cool set, but I think this market's going to be a little narrow. This Technic motorcycle, the Yamaha MT-10 SP, super cool looking. Motorcycles haven't typically done well in retirement. The new small scale Technic Huracan set, set that is $50. These sets are well done, but why did Lego pick the exact same color as the large scale Lamborghini, especially when there were a lot of comments back that the lime green color matching was not consistent depending upon the type of plastic or rubber used to make the pieces. So now they came back and made this set in the same color, which we know is going to have some color match issues. And also it just isn't really unique. So I'm a little bit surprised that Lego went with that color scheme, and I agree, not one that I'm investing in. The Disney Castle, this set is gorgeous. I love I call it a peach color that is more accurate to the actual castle. I think in Orlando is where this one's located. I love the fireworks. I've seen this set in the store and a lot of great interior detail on the back side because this is in the dollhouse form. But the person who said don't invest in this said, hey, look, it's Disney and it's a castle. Lego will make another one, which they just did. The Little Mermaid Royal Clamshell, not a set I'm interested in. It just looks a little too jumbled up, and I'm not sure how popular Little Mermaid is right now. 43230, the Walt Disney Tribute Camera. This one is super new, $100 for 811 pieces, but I think it's actually a decent deal because there's a lot going on here. The 3 mini figures and then the 2 additional characters or animals, Bambi and Dumbo, those look great. The Walt minifigure that we haven't got before and probably won't get again, and then this vinyl tape piece with all the scenes on it. There's a lot of action features. You can actually kind of use the camera, not actually record anything, but do all the functions with it. Other than this being a new set and we just don't know what the shelf life is going to be, I think this one could be really good in retirement. Peter Pan and Wendy's Light Over London, that's right, $60 for 466 pieces, when the original mini Disney Castle and then the mini Disney Haunted Mansion were both $40. So why the $20 price jump? I'm not sure. Maybe that's a good sign for the first 2. This one has 3 pretty good minifigures, and if Lego made a couple more in this style, maybe they'll do okay, but I'm not too excited about it right now. The City Passenger Airplane that's coming out really soon, $120 seems like a lot, but super cool set. I did search for passenger planes on Brick Economy and only the other one came up. I know there's a couple others, but this one didn't retire too long ago and it's already up to around $150. The Boba Fett mech 75369, nah, I don't agree with that. This set is awesome. This Boba Fett minifigure is awesome. I will say though, this set has disappeared from these shelves very quickly already. I think this one will actually do pretty well. And same thing with the Stormtrooper mech. I think this one will be okay. Maybe for, a lower risk, less expensive investment and, a little easier to manage. And yeah, a little less return on investment, but I still like both of those mechs. Definitely the Boba Fett mech. Wolverine's Adamantium Claws just came out. Way too plain for me, even though it's pretty accurate. I don't think it'll do great in retirement. The Batman construction figure, kind of the brick build, totally avoiding any of these until I see Lego produce a set that actually sells well. They've tried a number of iterations for brick built action figures and they have not gone well so far. This new Gringotts set is amazing, but it's $430, way too big for a Harry Potter set to invest in my opinion, but it's a super cool looking set. And then the new Hogwarts Castle and Grounds set, I agree, Lego will make more Hogwarts and Harry Potter castle sets, kind of like the Disney castle sets. This Jurassic Park set, I don't get into the Jurassic Park sets, so it got a mention to avoid for investing and reselling. And then 2 more Sonic play sets. Even though Eggman minifigure looks good, I still am not investing in any of these play sets, including this Green Hill Zone Loop Challenge. All right, that's the whole list. And now for my 3 that I disagree with the most. So basically 3 sets that I'm pretty interested in investing and reselling and don't think that they belong on this list. Oh, and don't forget, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. I do not provide financial advice. You got to get that from somebody else. The first one is the Razor Crest. Yes, probably a little bit of risk with this one, but I think worst case scenario, you have to hold on to it for longer than you were planning. But this set should be very popular for many years to come because the first couple of seasons of Mandalorian will be very popular for many years to come. Definitely have to get it on sale since it's $140 for just over 1,000 pieces. The next set that I absolutely want to get more of for investment is this Professors of Hogwarts. I know the Harry Potter market is cooling, but the Brickheads market is not cooling. These 4 characters just look great in Brickheads form. I love them. Tales of the Space Age, $50 is not bad, and it is so unique and so simple. It just looks great. Maybe it will have way too long of a shelf life, but this early in its life, I think it could do well in retirement. If we look on Brick Economy at ideas, some of the returns, 150%, 230%, 241%, in the 300, 500 range. This run from 2010 is massive in retirement. The Saturn V set was so good that Lego released it twice. Of course, the old fishing store that we know is doing extremely well. There are a couple in here that are not doing great, but a lot of them are doing quite well, and I think that this one will be in the average category for idea sets, which means still not bad. Thanks for watching. That's a wrap on this video, and I'll see you in the next one.